internet sheeples. Hello and welcome to the Tycho Dragon Show. Today's show is going to be all about just random shit I come up with, as per usual. You see, it's a little bit of a fucked up time in the world, isn't it? A little bit weird. You know, you got the UK riots going on, censorship of free speech, shit going on with Iran and Russia that just seems fucking weird, doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel a little weird? It feels a little like something big's coming. But you know, we're always told that, something big's coming. But I feel like all these different steps go little bit by bit, and you know, we are slowly like gravitating to a world of insanity. And it will only get more insane from here, as you know that there was some insane race riots in the UK. And these things, the media response has been strange, hasn't it? Hasn't it been strange? Hasn't it been weird that all Western medias appear to kind of brush it off? It's just, this is this way, this is how you think, and this is how you act. You know, I'm not saying anything, but what I am saying is that the way the media portrays these things is very fucking wonky. It's very wonky. And the even more disturbing things is that the, crackdown on free speech, it's coming. You can just feel it. You can feel it. You know, you have sites like X that is like doing good for the fucking free speech, but they hate it. They just hate it. I mean, you gotta ask yourself why, because when you go back in history, of like the internet and shit like that, and like our global communication, they've always wanted to control it. They need to control people. They have to control the way people think and the way people feel, and our censorship of our voices is getting less and less and less, because nowadays you get the feeling that there's tension. There's tension from the establishment of the world right down to yourself. That you feel, a lot of people feel that, they're forced to pick a side. They're forced to be a certain way. They're forced to kind of lead a life of just complete and utter submission. And you can argue that, maybe what they really are after is the strong, dominant male. Is the male willing to fight to the dying breath for what he believes in. Because when you talk about all this LGBT culture and how it is an attack on the strong alpha male, isn't it ironic that a population full of men being women and men who worship other cultures, isn't that ironic how that kind of destroys what is essentially the nationalistic pride of the white man? And that is kind of what you kind of see, is that it's like, how can we form a society when we're not even allowed to believe in who we are? Isn't that fucked up? It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. But, I'm against heavily any level of rioting and hooliganism and breaking shit and starting shit. But it feels like the world is on a collision course with that no matter what, because what's the alternative? You just do what they say? Is that what governments have always been? Just do what we say, be a good little sheep, sit in a corner, don't fucking make noise. Work at your shitty job for fucking peanuts, work your life away. Isn't that so convenient that that's what the establishment wants? It wants submissive people. It doesn't want leaders. It doesn't want people who take control of their destiny. It wants people who are a part of this conglomeration of people that is completely mixed, ethnics people, a society that is not really free, especially in the UK with some of the shit they're coming out with. And it's ironic that the pot calls the kettle black. You know, we talk about Russia and China and how bad they are. Look what we're fucking doing. Is there really even a good or bad guy in this? You know, clearly both sides do things that are wrong. East versus West, the world, this bipolar world. And isn't it so strange that these things all are they're butting heads at the same time that militaries, East versus West, are butting heads. This political shift in our minds of, hey, wait a second, maybe our societies aren't truly all they cracked up to be. You know, I take a lot of privileges in my life, but at the same fucking time, I feel every day deep inside of me like I could be more free. Free to experience things that I've always wanted. Free to experience shit that is fucking, you know, kind of sort of taken from me. You know? I feel as if I can't be a leader because I don't share the voice of what the establishment wants me to. I feel like a bit of a rebel. And although I would never ever go to the lengths that some of these people in the UK have, I would say that there is some very damning things going on between the people of the UK and between the government. And in many ways, the government has done things that is deeply alienating towards the people of the country. Whatever the politicians may think, and whatever these people try to convey, they're really not helping the situation. And it all kind of stopped, you know, because it was really intense about a week. It was really intense. You know, you're seeing shit on Twitter. You know, everything on mainstream media is far right, far right, far right. Can't be, you know, bad people, bad people, bad people. But then you see things on Twitter, X, that are like, it's just like you can see the bigger story. And isn't it so strange that they are so after X and Elon Musk? And you know, it's just, it speaks of a time of revolution in our world where people all over the world, all different cultures, all different societies are just deeply fed up with where we're at. And I think that we're at a transition period. And I've said this for many years. We're at a transitionary period where everything kind of is going along normally, you know, everything, you get news of some attack in Iran, you get the news of some thing in Ukraine, you know, there's a couple riots in the States, fucking, you know, this is just regular come and go things. And then we'll one day get to a point, to a singular point in history when all that just fucking changes, and it's just like game time. Maybe it's World War III. Many would argue we are already in World War III. We are currently experiencing World War III. It just hasn't started yet. Similar to ways that kind of happened in history. That these wars just kind of start, and there's no like day, you know, it officially starts. And then you look back in history, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, October 7th was the start of some combination of events that became World War III. And, you know, you always think of there's always talks of civil war this, civil war that. Nothing ever is produced of it. And that is because there is protocols all over the world by establishments that prevent these things. Because if civil war was possible, it would have happened by now, because there's such a great a difference of wealth in the world. You know, like 5 fucking people own more wealth than like 50%, like almost all human beings on Earth. That's fucked up. And there's 100% enough for all of us on this Earth, but they don't choose it. They don't choose to distribute that. all in the name of democracies and freedoms. But what are those democracies and fucking freedoms when you can't say what you want online anymore? And what happens when they start to use AI that tracks what you say, and everything you say online, you have to think nowadays. When you do shit online, you have to think every single fucking thing you're saying is being tracked somehow, some way by someone. No matter where it is. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on fucking Twitter, if it's on Instagram, if it's on fucking Twitch, if it's on TikTok, everything. There is no public, you're never free from the public eye in this world. And that's the truth. That's just the fucking truth. Some people are gonna have a real hard time with that realization, but something I've considered and known for a long time. And I'm the type of person who always fucking speaks their mind. I'm a devoutly Pablo Escobar in that mention is that I go after the truth ruthlessly. And I think that in many ways what is going to set this all off, set this ablaze, is that AI is going to change the world. It's going to change the world. People hate to admit because they're like, computers, stupid, computers serve us. But ultimately, it is a part of our evolution to evolve with technology. Technology doesn't evolve on its own. It evolves as part of us. And, fucking, it's going to get crazy. Every company in the entire face of the fucking earth will choose an AI bot that can do exactly what a human is at a splinter of the cost. Every company on earth. They don't give a shit about the human aspect. And every company that you fucking have ever worked at or anything, no matter how loyal you think they are, they're just there to make money. It's just the nature of human beings. They're like that. They want money. They want power. They want greed. They want control. And it's not something that maybe the strings of this earth are being held together by some unknown force. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, because every day you just see more and more and more and more collapse shit. More and more shit collapse. And it's all these strings of events that can happen sometimes that are just like, it's just like a domino effect. It'll just go, and I believe, if I'm right, is that we're starting to get to the intensifying period of the thing. Remember how during COVID, everything felt a little bit more relaxed, even though, wow, the world's shutting down, everybody went home and we're just relaxed. And everything kind of lost. And then the war in Ukraine started, and it quickly went World War III, and then just quickly went down and silenced. But we might be at a time when those events have all kind of interlocked with each other, and then now it's like a dam. Once it bursts, it just all starts to flood in. And the U.S. is the power of the world, one of the biggest powers in the world. And that establishment, with the Kamala Harris shit and the way Trump is, it's all very shaky. It just doesn't feel well. It doesn't feel like whatever's happening in the States is going to land on its feet. A lot of people think Kamala Harris will win, and the world will just be fine. We're a progressive society now, and everything goes away. It just doesn't. It feels like the election of the United States is this combination of events that's just going to trigger this massive powder keg in societies around the world, where now there's so much division online, and people are angry. You can see fucking people every day on every social media platform that people are just, they're fed up. They're fed up. They hate fucking working. They hate the establishment. They hate immigration. They're just against ideas that they feel like they have no control over. And it would be nice in democracy to actually feel like you have a voice. And a lot of people aren't feeling that nowadays. And that's why you get so many people who are downtrodden these days, because they feel like they don't have a voice. No matter how much they try, they can't make a change that they want to see in society, because the establishment has stopped that change from ever occurring in the first place. And I like to look into these deep philosophical issues, because I feel like everybody picks a side. Everybody wants to pick a side. He's right. He's wrong. Fuck you. Fuck you too. You know, everybody's got to win. We are a competitive species. We desire nothing more than power, even down to the most fundamental level. And, you know, if we're ever going to succeed as a species and become evolved, so to speak, from our current form, the only way to fix these issues is to go after them and fix them. That's the only way. Because nothing has really changed in the last 4 years, despite all this craziness around the world that just keeps happening. And you know, we're just one small little splinter of time in the world. Look at how crazy things have been in the last 10 years. What the hell is it? Like, I mean, 20 years ago there wasn't even smartphones. Do you have any idea how little a fucking time that is in the history of our Earth? Our Earth revolves around 1,000 years, not being very long at all. So long after I'm gone, long after you're gone, what the fuck is the world gonna look like if we haven't nuked each other yet? It's a situation where everybody's destiny is in the hands of things we feel like we never have any control over, but we have tons of control. I mean, there are billions of people in this world, billions of people. Do you have any idea what 1 million people working together can accomplish? That's like nothing of the fucking world. But the problem is that people cannot get along. They cannot form a group of 1 million people to do one task. We've proven it. We've proven that can't happen. We've proven that 1 million people cannot put their heads together and do some right for the world. We just can't. You know, Mr. Beast, look at him. He's the richest person on YouTube, and he has all these resources, he has all this money, and he turns out he's a fucking weasel. He's not gonna be able to fix the world. If you're waiting on Mr. Beast to fix the fucking world, it's gonna fucking blow up before he does. But real change could be accomplished if 1 million people just got together and did some right for the world. Then another 1 million join them, and then another 1 million join them, and then all of a sudden you have this united group of people who is able to, you know, fix the fucking problems with pollution, fix the problems with all these crazy wars and stuff. You know, the wars are never gonna end. Wars are the result of one thing, and one thing only: greed and human lust for power. That's it. That's it. And until we evolve past that lust for power and that lust for greed, the world is not gonna fucking change. In fact, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. Do you think for a fucking second that this shit is getting better? That one day, oh yeah, we just go home, Russia just goes home, fucking, you know, Iran goes home, US, everything's peaceful again, there's no more UK riots, there's no more fucking division on social media. Do you think that that's gonna happen? But it's like I'm saying, it's like it's like this floodgate being open. It's like it's slowly trickling in right now, but one day we could just wake up and the news is so fucking crazy. So I implore you as people to understand that there is some time that it's not gonna be as easy as it is today. That there is gonna be fucking change in the world, and you're gonna feel like you have no control over it when you do. And that's what my philosophy for today is: to just be ready. be ready, because every day you're looking at those feeds of all the crazy shit happening around the world. Just keep in mind that most people, it doesn't affect them. It doesn't do anything to them. Yeah, grocery prices go up because of Russian invasion. Yes, and even though the media won't tell you about it. And yes, you might be in, have your street shut down for some protest. But ultimately, the fucking lights stay on, the water still runs, you're still a part of a working society mostly. And until that stops, people are just going to go about thinking nothing's wrong. And people are just going to go about thinking that it's not going to affect me. This world's not going to affect me. And that's weird. That's a weird thought. It's just a fucking weird thought. It's a weird thought to think that, everything could fucking change in an instant. And how are we going to know when something truly insane happens and you're carting your family off in some refugee camp sometime, like the Palestinian people have had. I bet you one day they were just sitting scrolling their phones thinking that shit wasn't gonna change with the world, fucking reading Trump fucking memes, and now their lives are shattered. So yeah, that's the world we live in. Stay tuned, because I'm sure the insanity isn't gonna fucking stop.